All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Creators Corner. I think we're into episode 24 now. Good to have you guys here. Hope you guys like the new setup. I'm still in the corner, so we are still staying true to the name. But if you guys are struggling with creating consistent content for YouTube, if you guys are struggling with creating coming up with consistent ideas on a regular basis, just consistently around your channel, your topics, if you guys are coming up with like roadblocks when it comes to finding time to edit your content, optimize your content, upload it, and all those things, feeling overwhelmed with creating more content for your channel, engaging with your audience there, then this is the session for you guys. I know that you guys have already been commenting and everything, and I love that. So make sure you say hello in the comments. This is going to be a session where we're going to be talking with Natalie Hailey, and this is what she does. She helps her clients really come up with a solid plan to crush it on YouTube and do it in a way that is not overwhelming, that's consistent. And that's really what we're going to be talking about today, is consistency. So before I bring her on, I want to make sure that I am going to be inviting you guys to TubeBuddy 101. So I'm actually just going to share this really quickly. 1 second. Oh, Natalie peeked in there. Sorry, Natalie. But yeah, TubeBuddy 101. So this is a weekly training that we host every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern, me and Andrew Can from the team. So it is a free session. It's totally live as well. You can watch the replay if you miss it. But we just talk about how to get started with using TubeBuddy for your channel, to start diving into some of the tools that TubeBuddy has to offer. And we'll also spend quite a bit of time answering your questions live. So if you have any questions that you want to ask in person, then come and join us. That's going to be happening in like less than 2 hours, right after this session with Natalie here. So without further ado, I'm going to be bringing Natalie on. So give me 2 seconds. Let me take TubeBuddy 101 off the screen. Hey, Natalie, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you.
Good to have you here. So Natalie, we got to hang out in San Diego a little while ago, so that was fun. And now you're here. So I'm going to show a little picture here because I told Natalie I would do this. So this is us in San Diego. Seemed like a lifetime ago, but last conference that we both attended. But yeah, good to see you. Tell people who you are and what you do before we dive into some questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, it's absolutely great to be here. Really excited. I'm based in the UK. My business is called Hot Content, and we are an end-to-end YouTube agency. So we work with YouTubers to help them with everything right through from the strategy and the planning of their videos through to the production, the publishing, and the promotion of them. So to date, I have had a podcast. I was just chatting to Rob before to say that I am now seeing things from the other side, because I'm about to launch my own YouTube channel. So I'm the one, as I was saying to Rob, that's always nagging my clients saying, have we got the video for this week? You know, it's really important, stay consistent. And I'm seeing it from the other side now. So you guys know, when we have this chat about how you can stay consistent, that I do understand the pressure and how overwhelming that it can feel, because I've gone right in at the deep end, and there's so much to it. So yeah, it would be great to hopefully relieve some of that overwhelm for people.
Yeah. That's really what I'm excited for today, because I know that consistency is really the key when it comes to YouTube. That's what I've learned over the little bit that I've been on YouTube. So before we do that, I want to say hello to everybody that's tuning in. I see Nicole Osborne here, who's a mutual friend of ours. Hey, Nicole, good to see you. I see Mr. Dorr here on Twitter. I see Action Hannah as well. Anita Wong from London. Anita, good to see you here. Awesome. I miss London a lot. I was there last fall, and can't wait to go back as soon as we can travel. I see Graham Hay, who's here as well. He says, I need this lesson currently. Missed last week's regular upload. need to build some habits and routines to better manage the output flow. So yeah, that's really what we're going to talk about here today. So make sure you guys give this a like, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, tune in. You can follow us on YouTube, of course, youtube.com/TubeBuddy. But yeah, that's where you are. So let us know too what questions you have for Natalie, because this is a conversation. It's just not just me and Natalie talking here. We really want to make sure that you feel included and that your questions are answered. So Natalie, let's talk first a little bit about consistency, right? Because we were talking about this. That's really one of the biggest keys when it comes to growing your channel on YouTube. So tell us a little bit about that. Not just, it's obviously really good to be consistent, but like, why is that? How does YouTube work, and why is consistency so important?
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. There's a few different reasons why consistency is important, and obviously it is one of the factors that YouTube takes into account. It does value regularity and consistency. That's the first thing. However, even without that, I believe that it's only by doing something regularly and often that we improve and we get better. So particularly for people who are in the beginning, earlier stages of their YouTube channel journey, making yourself do that weekly video is the only way really that you're going to get really good at it. You can do all of the online courses, you can do all of the reading, read all the theory of it, but it's only by actually putting yourself in front of that camera and doing the video that you're going to get better. So doing it regularly and consistently is how we're going to improve, basically.
Awesome. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen as well from my daughter we have a little YouTube channel together. It's her channel, but I obviously help her with it, and she's 8, so it's kind of the things that she's interested in, and her pony and stuff like that. But since lockdown, we have done a video almost every single day, and you can see just from that how things have increased on the analytics side of things, the views, subscribers. It's not necessarily about feeding the machine, but as well, I think if you set an expectation with your audience that you're going to publish weekly or whatever interval, it's really important to keep up with that, because you don't want to plant any seeds of doubt in their mind that you can't keep up with what you've kind of promised, especially when people get really into your content and come to expect it a particular day of the week and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I think there's a little bit of that even when you're starting off. As you start building your audience, I think your audience starts to expect when you're uploading, and I think that's one of the, we do a lot of channel reviews for people, at conferences and stuff like that. And that's one thing I always hear the experts say, like when they look at your banner, it's like, okay, well, you should at least let people know when you're uploading, right? So it's like, hey, uploading new videos every week or every Tuesday or whatever it is. Again, going back to consistency. So let's really dive into it. And I do see Dole Whip Dad, Jeff Bates, good to see you here. He says his daughter has a channel as well that he plays around with. So it's a lot of fun. We got some questions here from Action Hannah and Challenge TV. And so yeah, we're going to be diving into questions. So leave them in the comments. Use hashtag TubeBuddy or something. That way I can make sure that I can sift through and see them really quickly. So hashtag TubeBuddy and then drop your questions in. But yeah, let's talk about some of those ways. And before you answer this question, Natalie, you guys got to stick around, because we are going to be sharing Natalie's guide. And so Natalie, tell people about that guide, and then I've got a question for you.
Yeah, sure. So it's basically an editable workflow process, and it's exactly the workflow that I follow when I'm working on any client's video or my own videos for that matter. And I'll move on in a bit to talk about the importance of a publishing schedule and a process, but it is what keeps you kind of sane. So it gives you every kind of tiny step that you need to take once you've had your video edited or done the editing yourself, everything you need to do to get your YouTube content out there, basically.
Perfect. Yeah. So we'll share that in just a little bit. But yeah, my question, Natalie, is publishing, right? So what is the best way to really get into a consistent rhythm with, publishing new videos, right? So because there's so much that goes into, you have filming, you have to come up with idea, maybe bullet point your, the talking points for each video. And then you have to spend time keyword research and all those things. So sort of take us through what that would look like and how that can be done on a consistent weekly basis.
Okay, so in terms of consistency, I think the first thing that we've already mentioned actually is having some accountability. So by writing in actual words on your YouTube channel when you're going to upload your videos, even at what time, what day of the week, you're already holding yourself accountable. So that's the first thing, is to, set yourself that deadline each week. And the fact that you have promised your audience that you're going to do that is part of what's going to keep you on track. But a publishing schedule is definitely the next thing. And I think everyone needs to have this, and it doesn't need to be complicated. So there are so many great tools out there, like Asana, Trello, for example, that can help you put together a kind of schedule for your content going forward. But personally, I'm a spreadsheet kind of girl. Just a Google sheet for me is just so visually you can just look at it and go, right, this is where I am, this is where I need to be in a few weeks. And it's just simply a case of plotting out, if you're producing a video weekly, mapping out the dates of when that each video is going to go out, and mapping out the topics, obviously getting into more detail as you start working on the videos. But at the most basic level, just map out the dates of when your content is going out there. And this is something that as well, if you're working with other people on your content, so if you have a team or you work with freelancers, this is where having this kind of shared document is really going to come into its own, because everybody can see what the deadlines are, where you're up to with any given piece of content, and it's going to keep you all on the same page. Because basically we need to set ourselves those deadlines, because the whole Parkinson's law thing, that work expands to fill what time we have available. So we need to set ourselves those dates, those deadlines, basically. Now, my publishing schedule also forms part of my process document. So on the same spreadsheet, I'll have my videos mapped out, or for any client, the videos mapped out, what dates they're going out, and then going across the columns, every little step that we need to take, who's responsible for it, so that as you do every little part of it, you can write in there done, or put check boxes in there and click done. It's hugely satisfying, and it's going to keep you on track, and every member of your team is going to know where you're at. Because I think especially if we're putting out weekly content, and we've already said it's a lot of work to do that on YouTube, it can become overwhelming. So having this one place to go to see where exactly you're up to with every piece of content, where you are along that journey, is really going to provide you a lot of peace of mind. And it's going to prevent the kind of overwhelm and panic that'll set in, that'll stop you being consistent, and that'll potentially make you stop altogether. So yeah, combining a publishing schedule and a solid process into one document, I think, is the first step.
Mm-hmm. No, that's great. That's great. So yeah, I'm going to be sharing this, guys, here in the comments. And there you go. So you'll be able to just go and open it up on a new browser. We do still have some time here to be hanging out with and asking Natalie some questions. So go ahead and download the content processes template that Natalie's offering. It's totally free, and you can edit this template. Yes?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can make it your own. You can delete columns that aren't relevant to you. You can add ones, but it just gives you the basis of what most people will probably have to do to get their video out there.
Perfect. So now, I guess my next question is, when you're starting out, how often should you be shooting for? Because like you said, your daughter, for fun, you guys have like a daily video that you're uploading. But if you're looking to build, an audience for a business, how often should you be, at the very minimum, be uploading? Every couple of weeks, once a month, once a week? What's your thoughts there?
On YouTube, I genuinely believe that weekly is the optimum. I mean, absolutely fantastic. If you could, as a business, produce a daily YouTube video, wow, that's value for your audience, fantastic. But I think we have to be realistic, and most businesses don't have the capacity to do that. So I think it's more important that you stick to what you say you're going to do, and you perhaps don't overcommit. So you know, I'm also of the mind that if you know you can only produce a fortnightly video on YouTube, then that's
Right.
better than committing to weekly and not being able to do it. But I think the ideal is to, you know, get yourself to a position where you can put that weekly video out there.
Got it. Awesome. Sounds good. So weekly. And for the people like me, fortnight means every 2 weeks.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like, what is Fortnite? It's not a video game, is it? No. Yeah, no, that's good. So yeah, every 2 weeks. But yeah, if you can weekly, is there, no, on the other side of the spectrum, is there, you know, strategically and for getting views and getting reach and stuff, is there like a too much? Is daily too much for a business? If you're creating and just like, you know what, I'm in quarantine, I'm locked down anyway, I'm going to create a video every day, you know, is that too much?
I really think it's going to come down to what content you're putting out. If you're putting terrible content out there, then definitely don't do that daily.
That's right.
But if you have something of genuine value, it's going to be really useful. If they're how-to videos, if you know that it's what your audience want, then I really don't see a problem at all with producing daily content. And you know, for the more fun channels, like, you know, like with my daughter, we don't normally have the capacity to do a daily video, not at all. It's just that circumstances that we're in have allowed us to do that. I think for businesses, if they were in that position where they were like, well, I'm going to use this time to put some great content out there, then shoot for it. Absolutely. Daily, as long as it's good content, isn't a problem.
Oh, okay, sounds good. Perfect. So we've got some questions here. I want to dive in. I do see Anita, Graham, Dole Whip Dad. We got Dion Jackson as well, and Eliza as well from Manila. That's awesome. Good to see you here. Got a question from our friend here, Nicole Osborne. So it says, when you have several content ideas, how do you figure out which one is worth making a video about? That's a really good question.
Yeah.
So yeah. Why don't you take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, great to have several content ideas, because I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with. But for me, it all comes down to keyword research. So using you know, tools like TubeBuddy to get inspiration. So once you've got those lots of different content ideas, well, it's about, you know, really getting to know your audience and what actually do they need to know from you. But secondly is taking the different ideas and playing around with them in a tool like TubeBuddy to find out, you know, which has the best search volume, and really just pick the ones that there's, you know, the best search volume for, but that you have a chance ranking for as well. And you know, pick the ones that you have a highest score for on TubeBuddy first, and then work your way down. But I think as well, the other thing to mention on, you know, while we're talking about keyword research on consistency is, as I mentioned before, one of the things that really prevents people being consistent is this block, this kind of barrier. Oh, I know I need to create a video, but I just don't know what to create it about. So when you are doing this keyword research, it'll throw up lots of different ideas. Make sure you note them down and create almost this kind of library of content ideas, so that you're never going to be stuck. You're never going to be stuck for ideas. But yeah, I think when it comes to, you know, whittling down which content ideas to go with, keyword research forms a huge part of that.
Yeah. Great answer. I think that is it. Like, I think, you know, if you want to sort of get the lowest hanging fruit, then do the keyword research first. I think in anything, I used to do this, Natalie, is I used to create the video because I thought that it would be a good video. And I feel like, you know, I'm hearing a lot of questions about it on social media or different blogs that I'm following. And then I create the video, then I would do the keyword research to then try to kind of smash and make the video fit into a keyword. And that was totally backwards, right? So now I'm actually the other way, where I do a lot of keyword research first, see the opportunity and the best sort of opportunity for a keyword for me, and then for my channel specifically, and then I create the video. That's kind of the workflow now. So
the biggest lessons for anybody that's using YouTube is that exactly that, is to do the keyword research first and then create the videos, definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, shameless plug. If you guys want to learn how to do keyword research, then come and join us every Tuesday. Actually, in about an hour and a half, we do TubeBuddy 101, 11 a.m. Pacific on Tuesdays. So it's totally free, totally live, and we answer your questions. And then we'll show you, part of that is showing you how to get started with using the keyword research tool inside of TubeBuddy. So shameless plug, and I'm done. Okay, awesome. So I see Chris McCann here. Yeah, call a lot of people. A lot of really good questions. Keep them coming. There's a really good question here from Anita Wong. Hey, Anita, good to see you here. Congratulations. She just reached 1,000 subscribers, which, if you guys don't know, once you get 1,000 subscribers, you get the community tab. And so gives you a lot of different options. You can do polls, you can put up pictures. It's kind of like a Facebook feed inside of your YouTube channel. So Natalie, you get to work with a lot of, like really like high level YouTubers. What advice do you have with using the community tab, to really understand your audience and maybe, uncover some opportunities for content that you should be creating?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose first thing to say is there aren't a huge amount of our clients that are using the community tab. To be 100% honest with you. But I do think, again, this is going to depend on your audience, sort of what relationship you have with your audience, and probably what industry you're in as well, and what kind of content that you're putting out there. So I think it definitely does have opportunities for people. So I would say, if you've got to the point where you've hit your 1K subscribers and you've got that function unlocked, to just experiment with it and just play around with it, and yeah, see if you can use it to build up that little bit more engagement. I think it is going to depend very much from business to business and industry to industry how people use that.
Awesome. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, good answer. Yeah, for us, just on a personal level, for TubeBuddy, we use it for polls and things. So yeah, we really try to dive into it, Anita, just more for like just understanding our community and what they would like to see. And sometimes we just put fun stuff, fun GIFs and things like that. So and use it for like upcoming events, things that we're doing. So yeah, definitely play around with it. So it's awesome. I'm almost there with my personal channel. So I'm really looking forward to using the community tab for that. Awesome. So, okay. So Natalie, let's talk about editing and some of those, like, if you guys are tuning in live or replay, let us know what part of the YouTube creating like workflow you get stuck in, that you find yourself kind of stuck in. And is it coming up with ideas? Is it editing? Is it optimizing and uploading? What is it throughout the entire like YouTube workflow that you guys get stuck in? And then maybe we can speak into some of those hurdles, and we can ask Natalie here what advice she has. But for me, Natalie, just personally, editing, I find, is sort of like the biggest thing. I find that I'm like really picky with my editing. What advice do you have around that? Other than outsourcing it or sending out to an editor.
Oh, you ruined my answer.
So let's pretend that editors aren't for hire and you can't hire them. So what would you advise to do it yourself?
It's hilarious, because we were just having a conversation, weren't we? Because I was saying that for me, the editing is the biggest part, and I've just decided to outsource that. So, but pretending that we can't outsource it. I think it's about, obviously it's a hard one, this, because I do think that everyone needs to try to play to their strengths, but there is, and I think actually if, editing isn't necessarily your strong point, then I do think there is a strong argument for outsourcing the parts of your content that somebody could do better, so that you can focus on the bits that only you can do, like producing that great content in the first place. But most of us have to work around the capacity and the budget that we have. So I would just say, make sure that you're using software that you feel at a level with. So I'm on a Mac, so I have become au fait with using iMovie now, and it's just super easy. I did try to use, I think it was Adobe Premiere Pro once, and I'm sure it's absolutely amazing, and people have only ever said amazing things about it. But for me, it was just above my level, and I was just too overwhelmed by it that I couldn't use it. So I think it's finding something that's at your level and then working up. And as well, I think, yes, we do want to be putting great looking, great quality content out there, but I think, again, it comes back to, we're only going to get better by doing it. So it's not being afraid to put something out there that's not, absolutely 100% perfect. Look back at any, established well-known YouTuber, look back at their, first videos, and, they're far from perfect. So I think it's about giving yourself that chance to improve and get better by just doing it and putting it out there.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. I mean, for the longest time, I just used iMovie, guys. So it's more than enough. I mean, a lot of people, even there's lots of channels out there that will show you how to edit on your mobile phone. Like D Niman and all these guys. They're just using their phone to edit. iMovie on their phone and things like that. So I think it's more consistency, and then obviously there's some things. As you start getting better, you just get better at like making edits faster. For me, it's helped Natalie to sort of template my video. So my tutorial videos are very much like quick introduction video, the meat of the content, and then outro. And it's kind of like templated, So again, just to make the process.
The other thing I'd say on that is it's such a tiny and simple thing, but learn the shortcuts. So if you're using iMovie, learn the keyboard shortcuts, because you're constantly zooming in and out, doing cuts and all the rest of it. And it's hi Holly, and it's such a difference to me to learn just the simple things like that. It's a matter of seconds each time, but it all adds up. So
yeah. That's so true. That's so true. Shortcuts. Hey, Holly, good to see you. It looks like you know Natalie. That's awesome. Good to see you here. See Dan Courier here as well, creator of Fundamentals, who is hosting the People of Video very, very soon. So 2nd or 3rd of May that weekend. So guys, go tune in. We'll drop the information as well in the comments. All right. So got time for a couple more questions. Tony says, hotkeys save so much time. So that's awesome. Tony's getting back into the YouTube game. So super excited for your content, Tony. All right. So we've got a question here. I think we kind of addressed this, but maybe you want to revisit this. Robbie Vivian, coming up with ideas to create content feels like a struggle for me. So keyword research.
Yeah, keyword research, using the YouTube autofill to play around phrases, and it often does just throw up completely different angles to different pieces of content. And as I say, what I said before is about making sure that when things pop into your head when you're doing your keyword research and it comes up with something like, whoa, I didn't think of that angle to it, making sure that you note it down for future, so that you never get to a point where you're like, right, I need to record my video, but I've run out of ideas. So keyword research.
Keyword research. Awesome. That's really good. And there's a really good question here. Challenge ITV says, challenge is scripting the video, how to plan properly the video content. So scripting. Yeah. What's your thoughts on scripting?
I feel your pain, first of all. Coming over to the other side and recording the videos, for me, this has been my biggest challenge, and it's different for everybody. So I have clients who will script their video to, the nth degree, and a lot of them will read a sentence so that they might have it on part of their screen, or they might have it on their phone while they're recording, and they will they'll record themselves saying a sentence, look down, look up again, say the next sentence, and their editor will make the cuts, or they'll make the cuts that way. Others feel more confident to just do it ad lib with some kind of structure already written down. But the biggest thing to really bear in mind here is to get an actual structure in place. So important. So Holly Gillen has popped on the screen there. So do check out her videos on how to structure your video. So it's about how quickly to get into the content, to hook people in, how to provide that hook so that people know that you're going to deliver the content that they've clicked on the video to watch, how to incorporate your calls to action, how to wrap up the video. So structure is just as important as scripting, but I think it's finding out what works for you, and it might not be a word for word script. It might be a little bit more flexible than that. So it's experimentation, I think.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. Yeah, like you said, the thing I picked up there was structure. So it's definitely structure with consistency. With like anything, it's kind of like, it's not like you're trying to make an assembly line, but you want to have a process for creating content, and all of these little things, right? Like coming up with your script, coming up with your ideas. You notice, like if you guys picked up, Natalie uses Asana or Trello to document all those ideas. I use Trello, Natalie. I wish I could show you guys my board, but I just have boards for like, you don't want to see my board. It's just a mess. But no, it's, you got ideas and then like things that you actually like ideas, and you kind of move it down the sort of like down the path to like published video promoting. So that's sort of like, there's always like within the whole big process, there's these small little processes that I think you can kind of template, in many ways. So there was also a question, Natalie, with promoting and repurposing your content. And how, do you have any advice with taking, this is a conversation, guys, we're actually going to be doing on Thursday with a 360 marketing squad, which is an amazing little crew of marketers. And they all do certain things. They all like have expertise in different channels. And so we're going to talk about repurposing your videos into many other channels. But what's your suggestions when it comes to repurposing your videos and promoting them after you publish?
Oh, it's a huge and such an important topic, because unless, we're fortunate enough to have huge channels and for just be able to rely on coming up in suggested videos and YouTube, almost promoting our content for us. The reality is that just, putting your YouTube video onto your channel is not even 50% of the work that needs to be done to get your video seen by as many people as you need it to be seen by. So the actual promotion of it and repurposing is huge. So, for a lot of clients, for example, they'll put their YouTube video out onto their podcast. They'll create snippets, edited down snippets of the video. They might use IGTV. That's another good one. But yeah, producing little maybe 60-second clips with captions on to share on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, to sort of hook people in, tease them to come over to YouTube and watch your video. And if you have, an email subscriber list, within the first 24 hours of that video being published, do everything you can. That first 24 hours is such an important window for YouTube. So, email out to your list to broadcast that you've got a new video live. Make the most of all of your social channels, definitely. Promotion.
Yeah, no. That's great. That's great. Yeah. I mean, there's so many different ways. There's so many channels. I like that you mentioned email. I mean, email, a lot of people forget email lists and think that it's kind of old school and gone. But you talk to a lot of the big YouTube creators out there with the big channels. Yeah. They are going hard with their email, right? They're not only like connecting with their audience on email, but they're continuously building their list. So don't sleep on your email list.
Yeah, definitely. That's very
No, that's awesome. Okay, so guys, if you guys have any other questions, drop them in. Use hashtag TubeBuddy. That way I can kind of sift through all the comments and pull your questions out, and we can ask Natalie here. So drop them in. Also, just a reminder to make sure that you grab Natalie's guide, and I'm going to be putting it back on the screen in just a little bit, and also put it on the comments. But it's a template that you can edit, and it will help you with your YouTube workflow and kind of plan everything out. So go grab that. Also, Natalie, Holly, you mentioned Holly has a video script formula.
Yeah, so if you go onto Holly's channel, so just type in Holly G Studios on YouTube, and I've watched them recently, a couple of videos on how to structure. I can't remember the exact titles of the video, but I think they were fairly recent. So awesome. Definitely check those out.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, Challenge TV was just asking, hey, Holly, where can we find your guidelines? So yeah, Holly, if you're still on the live with us, feel free to just drop it in the comments. That way we can share it out as well, and people can benefit from that guide. Okay, so there's a question here that comes from, I'm trying to find out, but it was basically like, how do you set up for filming? Because that's for them, that's their roadblock, is how to film and finding time to film and a space to film. So I know that you're doing this now. So what's your advice when it comes to filming?
Another one where I feel. So actually what I would say here is it's going to depend on the kind of equipment you're using. If perhaps you're just starting out, you are just using a tripod and iPhone. So I think it's about finding a background that's not too cluttered, that reflects you and your personality, but you don't want too many distractions in there. If you head over to my website, hotcontent.co.uk, I've just recorded a podcast episode with Adrian Salisbury, and it's about exactly this. It's about how to create a professional looking set for your YouTube videos. And he goes into detail about exactly what you can have in the background, how to position yourself in the screen for maximum effect. Loads of really useful tips. So definitely check out that episode.
Nice. Awesome. I'm going to put a link to that podcast. Adrian is great. Got to meet Adrian at Social Media Marketing World. Actually, Ben as well. Side by side, they look like they're like working for the same company, right? Yeah. They look like they're working in the same company with like that uniform right there with the with the denim shirt. It's awesome. I love it. But yeah, Adrian and Ben, they're both so brilliant when it comes to video content. I know Adrian is with BeLive as well, and with Ecamm. Sorry, Adrian, with Ecamm as well. And it's just been a great resource for me as well. Just like I'll message him and ask him about questions with live streaming and gear and stuff. So that's awesome that you have that interview there.
When Adrian pops up on a screen, if you ever on a call with him or anything, he looks like he's not really there. It is 3D. It's incredible. The visual quality he's managed to achieve. It's like he's in HD. It's amazing.
I don't know. Yeah, I know. I don't know how he gets that quality. It's just so good. But Adrian, Ben, awesome. If you guys feel like scrolling down, you might also see this guy here, and at least give it a minute and give it a chance and listen to her. No, that's awesome. I love that. I love your podcast. There's some really awesome people here. I think I saw that you also interviewed Philip, who we saw. Just really great, brilliant guy there. And then also a good friend of mine, Balasabas as well. So awesome people. Jess and Holly. Oh, there's Holly. There you go. So I'll go check out Natalie's podcast, and that's one place to check her out. But Natalie, tell us about your plans for your own channel, and I will get a link into the comments. But tell us what you're doing there.
Yeah, so I've wanted to do it for such a long time, working with all of these YouTubers, and I have a podcast, so it just makes sense, and it just feels like the right time to do it. So I'm really excited. I'm hoping but the channel is live now, but there's no videos on there as yet, so you can head over and subscribe if you would. I would be forever grateful. But the actual videos will be launching on there at the end of the week. And all going to be really helpful content for anybody, all the kind of stuff we've been talking about, how to get consistent with your content, how to create better content more regularly on YouTube to accelerate your growth on YouTube and grow your channel. Loads of really useful how-tos, tutorials, that kind of thing.
Awesome. So go ahead. I put the link in the comments. Go subscribe to Natalie's channel. Natalie, you're going to kick this off with your you're going to be dropping the first videos at the end of the week, right? We're putting that out there now. So
yes, holding me accountable. Yes.
Yes. That's awesome. Super excited. I can't wait to learn from you there. Also, here is a link to Natalie's guide again. This is something that you can edit. It's a template for your own content planning and optimizing that whole workflow. So there you go. Now, Natalie, where is the best place to connect with you other than your channel, your podcast? What can people reach out to you if they want to continue this conversation with you?
Yeah, well, you're super welcome to email me, natalie@hotcontent.co.uk. In terms of social media, I'm on most of the channels, Facebook and Twitter, but Instagram tends to be where it's kind of me just hanging out, talking about work stuff, but also lots of puppy and pony stuff as well.
Awesome. Okay, sounds good. There is Natalie's Instagram, so I'll put that in the comments. Natalie, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I hope you guys are staying safe. I know you got kids at home and stuff too, so hanging in there,
Yeah.
With the kids. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, guys, go reach out to Natalie, subscribe to her channel, download her guide, go reach out with her on Instagram and connect with her. She's got so much information that she can share to help you guys with your YouTube channel. Natalie, thanks for hanging out with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a delight.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And everyone on the live, thank you so much. If you're watching this on the replay, make sure that you also leave a comment. We do monitor all the comments. So if you have any questions for Natalie, we'll make sure we get it over to her. And if you have any questions for us, leave them there as well, or email us support@tubebuddy.com. We'll be there for you. All right. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.